Okay, going to move to approve the minutes from the meeting on Thursday, April the 6th. We had that as a called meeting since we didn't have the meeting on the second Thursday due to a scheduling conflict, so we had the meeting a week early. And some of you that were here or have watched the video, did anybody see any corrections or anything we need to change on these? Hear none, so I'll go ahead and sign these into the record. Okay. Got a couple of items of new business here. One is the signing of agreement of the ACH origination between Walker County Commissioner's Office and the Bank of Lafayette to proceed with direct deposit for all Walker County employees. This here is on the letterhead of the Commissioner's Office to the Bank of Lafayette, dated April 27th, and reference the company agreement for ACH origination. Please be advised, effective January 1, 2017, I was elected sole Commissioner of Walker County, Georgia. As such, I have the full authority to sign and to delete additional county officials to sign any necessary the Bank of Lafayette documents regarding this agreement. So this is a letter that they needed for their records. And then if y'all have your package, you'll see the documents that they need for the ACH origination, where we're taking and starting to implement the direct deposit for our employees. And we've got a couple of dozen already on the system, and we're adding employees to that every pay cycle. So, got that. Those copies to them. Okay. Next, we have the signing of the State of Georgia Criminal Justice Coordinating Council Juvenile Justice Incentive Grant Program. This is a grant that basically we're just the physical agent for, so they have to have a local government to be able to process this grant through, and so they turn in all of their expenses and we reimburse them. And actually I guess, Greg, we probably front the money on this, actually.
We front the money, yeah.
So we front the money each month, and then you turn that in for reimbursement how often?
Quarterly.
Quarterly, okay. So this is just the documentation that allows the coordinator to send this to the state to renew this grant. So this is something that was already in place. And hearing from our juvenile judge, Steve Ellis, this program's been very successful, and he very much advocating for us to continue this program. So there's a lot of places here for me to sign. Yes, absolutely. Anybody have any question on any of these items? Greg, there's not any match or anything we do on this,
No
is it?
match at all.
It's 100% grant.
Right.
It's almost a page for every $10,000, I think. Okay, got that done. Those are the only things that I had on the agenda tonight, so that will conclude our regular scheduled meeting. So we'll adjourn the regular scheduled meeting and we'll open the floor to any public discussion or comment.
How about bring us up to date on our audit? Where are we?
We are working with the company that does the evaluation on the pension fund. And they're their actuary that does that for us. They had provided us back some information, but they are still trying to get everything reconciled and balanced.
Because you're behind on making the contributions.
Not on the pension fund, no. The pension fund, we put in $60,000 a month, I think.
$70,000.
$70,000 a month goes into the defined pension fund every month. And so that's paid on a monthly basis. So the actuarial company is working on getting all the data that the auditors need. So our auditors have done pretty much all that they can do. They're waiting to get the information back from that company so they can finish out the rest of the audit, because there's documentation that they need from that. So we're hoping that they may have that part of it to us by the end of this week. Hopefully, that's what they're telling us, hopefully. And then once we get that to the auditing firm, then there's probably 3 or 4 more weeks worth of work that they have to do to get it done. So we're pushing as hard as we can push, but
So we're looking at June.
We had an extension until June from the State Department of Audit, so.
as through June
30th.
30th. Yeah. So to stay in compliance, we gotta have it done by June 30th, and we need it done before then. Because we're gonna have to have that documentation before we can do any more with our TAN. Anything else? Anybody else have anything? No, we've not finished that. We have the 6-month moratorium still in place, so we're probably, 2 months into that? And so we will get that addressed, and we're still gonna, to allow people to do tiny homes, we'll just have some guidelines and ordinances and things that we'll adopt in place.
What about the rules and regulations on manufactured homes? Because they haven't been followed for 25, 30 years.
As far as code enforcement,
No. They're telling people that they can't have anything but a 16 wide. They can't do that, according to the Attorney General and House of Representatives and all that. You can't tell a man what size house he has to live in. And down here before, they've been telling people that they couldn't have a 14 wide home in certain zones. Can't do that.
so
The rules and regulations that's been before the House of Representatives, signed by the Attorney General, states that no local jurisdiction shall prohibit the placement of any manufactured home that meets the requirements on the data plate. They've got a data plate on them since 1976. And they've been telling them down here that they can't have a 14 wide home, or a 12 wide home, or a 10 wide. They've been telling them they can't have it. And that's against the rule.
If you've got a copy of that information, if you could get us a copy of that, be happy to
Okay.
look at that. We want to make sure we're doing things the right way.
Yeah. Call-
You're the first one that's brought that
Yeah.
in conversation.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not complaining, but I don't want you in trouble.
Right. Yeah, we don't want any more trouble.
And the states that, political subdivision, you can't adopt or amend any rules that's not consistent with the rules you've done set forth for the fair housing development.
Yeah, if you get that to us, and we'll take a look at it. Good point.
Shannon?
Yes.
On Center Grove Road.
What road?
Center Grove,
Cedar Grove?
yeah, and of course, due to all this rain, with all these covers, it stopped completely out. And the other day, the water running across about that deep, that road, and then there's a freeway through there. And somebody will hydroplane through there. And there's several of them on that road, that's pretty bad shape.
I know we've got 2 crews that are ditch cleaning every day, rain or shine, and so we'll add that to their list, make sure they get over and check that out.
And I don't know if there's ever been a guardrail around that curve or not, but it's pretty sharp. I know it had not recently, but they have been a lot of wrecks. People go up and that thing is about 6 foot deep down there on that, where Jones Road cuts off Center Road,
Okay.
but it's really dangerous.
I don't-
Jones Road.
I don't know if it's still available. I don't know who's running the road department now. But the state of Georgia will give you guardrail that has been taken down. It won't be brand new, but it is serviceable and it can save you a lot of money. I'm not sure right now who you need to talk to, but it is available, or it was. Now, I know that they're using, the state's no longer putting up guardrail, they're using a contractor now. And it's like with the mowing, they've gone, because it's just cheaper.
Right.
It's cheaper to contract it out because you don't have retirement and insurance and all of this.
Right.
But you might check into that if you're gonna try to do some guardrail, because I know you bought a hammer to go on a Bobcat.
Must have been done last year if they did.
Well, the reason I know on Round Pond, they put up a couple stretches. The other side of the school, they put up a couple of little stringers of guardrail, and they were putting it up with a Bobcat with a hammer on it. The reason I know something about guardrail, I was on a guardrail company for 10 years. We did a lot of guardrail,
And also, there's a bridge on that road that needs to be looked at. For these 18-wheelers come by there, and these big gravel trucks come by there, and school, but they really need to be checked out. About 3 or 4 years ago, a guy was putting a water line across to the other side of it, and he said a big truck go by the bridge and down this way.
well, the bridge is designed to do that. Bridges are only attached at one point. It has to be able to flex and to move. Otherwise, it breaks if it can't move.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can't go by that. You just have to see if it's structurally safe.
If they're running big trucks, they may be going overweight.
I mean, the 18-wheelers, these big tandem trucks come through there, and I mean, they move, it's not 30 miles an hour, either.
Yeah. I don't know what the weight limit is of that particular bridge.
Probably about
20
There's
tons.
4 P-Vine Creek starts up there at the end of it. And I wonder if it's washed out in there. Because it's
Well, the state comes through every couple of years and inspects all the county bridges, and they came through.
Did they do the county bridges too? There was only one bridge on the state list for Walker County.
They did all the county bridges.
But that was a state highway, that substandard bridge on this latest list, wasn't it? I
I
can't
have seen
remember.
some yellow trucks down there.
Sure. My understanding in talking to the road superintendent, the state comes through and inspects the county bridges as well.
Well, the list that we just put out this week is only one in Walker County. That was substandard. But I assumed, I'll have to go back and find the list. I assumed that was state roads. I did not remember they were doing it,
Okay.
the county roads.
Okay.
That's, Commissioner Whitfield. One thing y'all mentioned, the culverts being overflowing and stuff. One of the reasons the culverts and the drains will not drain is when the mowers mow, they leave the grass out in the street and it clogs on top of the drain and the water can't go nowhere, and then it sediments into the drain itself, and then you lose the sewers that we paid so much money for. And for years I've been asking the prison mowers to take their blower, and if it's available, blow it back into the grass. Ain't gonna hurt nothing. In fact, it'll fertilize. And then those that can't, where you don't have that, you blow it down and you put it on the truck and haul it off as rubbish. That way you don't get the clogged drains and the problems of flooding that everybody's talking about, because that water has to have a clean zone to go down in the drain, or it's going to back up on your roads, and you're going to increase accidents.
Yeah, one of the biggest problems we're having is the amount of leaves. We have a lot of trees, which are beautiful to have in our community, but we're coming out of that season of trying to get all these leaves cleaned up out of the drains, and they've worked all winter cleaning out these drainage and culverts.
I'm sorry, equip your mowers with mulching mowers, and the leaves can be pulverized and not be having to be carted off. They'll just wash down the drain like powder and go.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. All good. Anything else?
We're gonna give you a break.
Tell you what.
We easy on you.
Yeah, go easy on me tonight. All right, well, I guess we'll wrap this one up.
I don't know whose business it would be, but a lot of these west around mowing, they mow these things within yards, not in mowing, right toward the traffic. And I don't know who needs to be investigate that, but that is dangerous. It could kill somebody, because they don't know what's in that grass.
That's right. It is a risk they're taking.
I'm telling you.
All right, well, I appreciate y'all coming tonight. Y'all have a safe trip home. Hope you have a great weekend. Thank you. Thanks, sir. Yeah, do that.